Alright, so we are right back into another Dragon Ball Super card game video, and this one, yes, it is a deck profile. Unfortunately, I do not have any gameplay for this one, so it will be kind of quick to kind of go over, but it is something I have been testing for the last, I don't know, 2 to 3 months or so. I've been coming back to it, and I was just like, you know what, I want to combine my two favorite things, a Rogue Leader, which is the Black Broly, and the engine that goes with it, and as well as Skillless, because I wanted to make a green Skillless deck, but in the memory of the deck profile that I was supposed to do in San Diego, but oh well. But I didn't want to do it with Son Goku Leader because of a number of reasons. I feel like this is a little bit better when it comes to synergy. Yes, there are a lot of downsides and upsides to this. We'll kind of go over it. But before we get into it right now, here's the deck. Again, no gameplay, no nothing or that like that. Unfortunately, don't have time. I will make sure, not for the next one, but for the one after that one, I will have some gameplay and make sure to have it. But at least you can kind of get some ideas from this and maybe even test it out and fix it wherever it needs to be fixed. But I don't think so. I think this is as solid as it gets. But neither here nor there. This is with, again, the Black Broly. So we have all of the Skillless engine in it. And again, here's the deal. The downside of playing Black Broly is that you do not get a lot of the benefits of playing Kid Goku. Okay, that was obvious. But the thing is that when you switch this to Kid Goku, it basically is just another Kid Goku deck. When you switch this to Broly, you lose out on the draw, quite a lot of the draw, and you have to crit the life. But it kind of turns into something else, and that was kind of the idea in getting a little bit more of a control deck and as well as a slight hand destruction deck. Not only that, is that most of the things that you would use in Kid Goku work with this leader as well, and it has a lot of cool interactions just like Kid Goku, just on a different basis. Now, if we take a look at the leader itself, just as a reminder, if you didn't see my last Black Broly deck a long time ago, when this card attacks, you may choose one card from your life and drop into the drop area. Unfortunately, you do crit, you don't take it. If you did take it, this would be busted. And then you can place up to the 3 cards from the top of your deck in the drop area, and then choose they choose one from their hand and place in the drop area. So basically, you crit a card, you do not have to do the top 3, you can do 0, you can do 1, doesn't matter, and then they have to neg 1 from their hand, which is okay, because now what's happening is that you're attacking, they have to be forced to take one as you attack, and then they get one right back because they're going to take the life. It's just not, that's just one of those things. And of course, this guy is a draw 2 leader, not a untap 2. Not that big of a deal in this deck, I don't think. Originally, when I had this one, and I think I have 2 different variations. One's featuring on the Skillless, or focusing on the Skillless, and then one that's not, in which kind of focuses more on hand destruction. And then that, that might be more of a fun deck. This is more of one of the ones I wanted to shed some light on. And then when this card attacks on the fun side, you draw 1 card, and then you choose one of your non-token, non-black cards. So making sure that it's not any of these over here, but probably going to be one of the ones over here, and then drop into a drop area. If you do so, the opponent chooses 1 card from the hand and place it in the drop area. So it's one of those things you kind of have to tread lightly on, but there's a lot of different options that you can kind of use in the deck, and it kind of works out. And then activate main, you choose 1 card from your hand and place it in the drop area, and then you choose one of their opponent's battle cards and KO it, which is probably one of my favorite effects. It's just any kind of built-in KO, like the Piccolo or the Gogeta, whatever. So having all of those things at your disposal makes this kind of a good control, mid-rangey sort of deck, in my opinion. And there's a lot of different things that help you kind of draw and maintain that hand, and as well as board advantage. So going from left to right, if you didn't know sort of the whole package for Skillless, it's pretty much these top 5 cards, I would say. So for the 4-star ball, you choose your battle card or leader card and gains 5k. Basically, is a 5k combo at any time during the combo phase. And of course, when you combo with the Skillless battle cards, which is going to be the 2-drop over here and a 3-drop over here, you get to go ahead and get that 5k extra combo. You can play this in any deck, and that was another thing that I'm trying to show, that you can play these cards pretty much in any deck. You can play the Android 8 if you really want to, along with the yellow Kid Gokus and things like that, and then just KO something after it leaves the field. So that's always a thing. And then we also have the power burst that gets back the Kid Goku whenever you want to. You can add in like a sideboard if you really wanted a sideboard. I would imagine that it has Dark Power Mass Saiyan, it has Kami, it has Cronoa, things like that. And of course, power burst is just good as a sparking negate to awaken, and as well as to get back a Kid Goku. So when you do swing and you don't take, if you take a life and you crit 1, that's 1. The next turn you swing, take a life and crit 1, that's and then you look at the top 3 or drop the top 3, and then you go ahead and use a negate that next turn to awaken pretty much the next turn. And of course you can use Gohan to awaken as well. But of course, you get the one drop Goku is the only target in the deck. It's the only target that you should be getting, or at least aside from Android 8. And then you use the once per turn, the first one, where you look at the top in your deck. Wow. You look for a 4-star in your deck or your drop and add it to your hand. So the thing about this is that if you swing and you mill out a power burst, or a 4-star, you can get it back with a Goku. If you swing and you mill out a Goku, you can get it back with the power burst. It's sort of like a recursion thing over and over again, and I think it works out really well. And of course, the other thing that I really like about this is that your leader card is black, which he is. You choose a skillless energy cost of 3 or less in your deck or drop area, and then you shuffle your deck when you look through it. This card alone is really good in tandem with all the other green stuff. And it's really good to thin out your deck. You're not only thinning out your deck by using the leader effect, but also whenever you do neg out, like from your hand to KO something, or from the deck and crit something, or from your drop or your battle area and then to the drop area, it just works out pretty damn well. And of course, Android 8, you look at the top 7, you get a skillless battle card, and those are your targets over there. And then when you're KO, wow. When your Kid Goku is KO'd, you KO something, or if it leaves the battlefield as in combo, so you already know the deal. And of course, everything I'm going to be mentioning from the leader effect, from these things, from other things, surprise attack Vegeta or Frieza is really good with that because you get to play it for free after something is KO'd. And of course, we have the training buddy Crillon. I played this at 4, and that is simply because of the leader effect. When you swing, you crit 1 if it's a vanilla, or if you look at the top, or you do it up to the top 3, and it ends up being one of the vanilla, which is the 2-drop, you can then play the training buddy Crillon, and then KO something like a Crisis Crusher, so that way you don't have to worry about the 8 or the 1-drop. Goku, and that just works out for any Kid Goku deck, and it's just good. I don't know what to tell you. Like, you play 4, you pay 2, and then you have 2 attackers. It's just good. Master Roshi, the 4 or less super combo for black, Master Saiyan for additional removal. I think going forward maybe a little less overwhelm, but I think this package is good. This as a 1-cost combo and one cost 5 overwhelm and warp up to 5 is really good. And just for removal, like I said, because the deck has spot removal but doesn't really have mass removal. And then Scientist Fu, just for that draw and just for additional attacker, it's really good. He's never really been a bad card in any aspect. Beyond Darkest Demigod is kind of a last minute add, simply because you play a lot of black. And if you don't end up using the Overwhelm package over here, Demigod is a really good finisher, especially since you're going to be ripping cards from their hand with all these other effects. And then we have the Gohan for Awakening. Just swing, take a life critical. Obviously, Demigod, if you didn't know, triple striker, Overwhelm 7 for 5 or 7 black, and then 5. You know the deal. You can see the card there, guys. It's not a new card. And then Chilai, you pay 1, you draw 1. Again, more value in trying to maximize on that. And then you pay 2, and you get out your Chilai over here, which is the 2 or less. You can add more targets like the Chilai and Limo, but this deck is pretty tight as is. And then when something is KO'd, which it will be, something will be KO'd somewhere, somehow, and then they have to choose 1 from their hand to the drop area. And then on their turn, since it's once per turn, if you use this combo and then you KO something on their turn, they have to KO something if this girl is on board. So that's pretty cool. So you get the draw and get another body. 15k body is pretty good. And now, the thing that a lot of people are actually talking about with Black Broly is the Frieza Army Healing Pod. I love this card. I made a whole video on it. Go find it. I'll put the thumbnail here. But when I do have this card out, it is max value, simply because that, again, with the leader effect, dropping those, with this guy using from the drop instead of the deck, with Crillon using it from the drop and playing a 2-drop, and all of that really works with this. And that's why we play F4, and that's why we play everything else at max value. So again, you get to play a card from drop and you draw a card, and that's once per turn. I don't think there's anything that actually plays something on their turn, but hey, oh well. And then it just, like I said, it's just good value. Anytime that you are playing these cards out you just draw a card, it's just good. And that in tandem with the overflowing Bio Broly. So what happens with this is that when this card is being placed from the battle area into the drop, and the leader card is a Broly, which it is, you may place one card from your hand to the drop area. If you do so, play a card. So that's easy because a lot of these targets are easy to drop. So you're going to be dropping this if you already have one on field. This one for vanillas, you can drop any of these if you don't feel like they're really useful, etc. And right after you do that, it comes back in active mode. You draw one for the Frieza Army Healing Pod, and of course, when you swing on Awaken effect, you get to place this one into the drop, and then they drop one from there. So you get the value from drawing here, you get the value from them necking a card, and you get a value from 2 attacking 15Ks, right? So it all really works out for that. And of course, the 4 vanillas for the 2-drop, kind of already explained that. The G-Line kind of already explained that. The Jilin Rildo is just a big boy to kind of swing for 30k anytime you play it out for Goku. You can thin out your deck from the deck, or if it's already in the drop, you can play it out and get the draw from Frieza's Army Healing Pod, and then of course there's surprise attack Frieza. So that is the deck itself. I really like the deck. Like it is just like Black Broly is just one of those one of those leaders that I'm always just gonna come back to and be like, hey, this looks cool. Hey, that looks cool too. I don't care about the crit life. It's just one of those things you just got to deal with to balance out the game for whatever reason, because this needed to be balanced for whatever reason. But overall, very fun deck. I don't know if it's going to be competitive, but I think if people took the time to really think outside the box, like I said, I always try to promote that in any of my deck profiles. Try to think outside the box and understand where the meta is. I don't know if this is the deck for the meta right now, but I know this is a pretty strong deck in itself. And again, when you generate that advantage on board and hand, it really works out pretty well, and you can stand up to most decks. Now, what does it lose to? It's hard to say. Maybe Chain Attack Zeno. I mean, that's kind of a thing, but again, sideboard for Dark Power Saiyan, especially with Power Burst, it's gonna be pretty okay for you. Maybe Baby. I think Baby's kind of fallen out the meta, but I think any kind of red leader using Is That All You Got, you kind of have to work around that, and then just kind of use your recursion abilities to kind of put pressure on. Other than that, you just kind of have to play the deck and see what works for you. I've been pretty successful. Kind of gets to turn 4, turn 5, and then I just take game from there because they don't have a hand. And as far as what's missing, you can probably squeeze in maybe 1 or 2 Kais or Champa. I wouldn't know what to reduce without making it less consistent. If you don't want to play the surprise attack Friezas, you can probably change that for Champa, so that way you can get max value from your vanillas and as well as 4-star balls. So that's always good. But again, that is a deck. Think about all the recursion. Think about the leader itself. Think about the deck itself. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new, if you like this deck, if you want more. And I'll see you in the next one. Later.